And welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. We're playing as the Poland-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and last time, under the command of Rafael Boccia, we were able to split the relief force, or we were able to stop the relief force, and in so doing split the defenders off from their territory, or splitting the Austrians in two, as we can now see that the Munich garrison is no longer there. I decided not to go ahead and proceed with laying siege to it, because a major part of that force still remained, which we can see over here, and they're still trying instead to sneak around through the mountain passes. So I've gone ahead and moved over here to protect the bridge in this area. But it was a very successful move. We were able to slaughter quite a few armies and quite a lot of enemies, and as we can see, they no longer even try to defend Munich, or at least for now anyways. Since then, I have gone ahead and done some maneuvers. So the army that was stationed up here, that came down from Copenhagen, but it was also carrying troops from Hanover and Berlin, marched down. I think it also might have carried troops all the way from Stockholm. Has marched down, and instead of sieging this place, which has a smaller garrison, I sieged this one. Because, well, it has a bigger garrison, it's a bigger threat, and also it is a military governor's barracks. So it will be able to recruit a lot more troops compared to the normal... Oh, it's actually a royal palace here. But yeah, they can't get the same kind of troops. Certainly not the same kind of cannon as they're able to get out of the military governance barracks. So that's why I marched to lay siege to that. And in so doing, we've mostly pacified the Austrians. It's all a matter of a few turns and maybe one more battle somewhere, and then they're gone. I've decided, even though I can actually out-resolve and win the battle at the capital, the thing is though, I would lose about 4,000 men in doing so, so I'd rather just siege them out. Right now there's 4 turns until they are forced to surrender, which is not that bad, and in that time my armies will only grow stronger, as this one will be able to replenish, and this one will be able to replenish as well. So we'll only be able to get more troops against them while they continually bleed. I've sent some armies now towards the Russian front instead, so the army with the winged hussars is on the move. And so are the National Lancers on the way to the Moscow region to clear that up. We have made the army that was being recruited in St. Petersburg. That has actually now more or less finished, or as finished as I'm gonna make it. And it's marching its way to Petrovskaya, Sloboda, Karelian region to take that out, to secure the north of the Moscow region. And then you can also notice that Ukraine has fallen. You wonder, why didn't we see that battle? Well, there was no battle. The defenders actually never sallied forth once they had nowhere to go. And for the last turn of the siege, they were starved into complete surrender. So there was never any battle, and you can tell by the fact that this army that was sieging it has suffered no casualties and has moved on directly to Moscow. I imagine the commander of that fort is gonna have to pay quite dearly in Russian memory for that, because if he had not given up and actually given battle, then it probably had cost a lot of men, to the point where I couldn't just continue on into the Moscow region, and the Russians could actually make another possible attempt to take the Moscow region before this army had replenished. They could make another attempt at taking the fort. And also with this, securing these areas, we can now repair quite a lot of stuff that the Russians have burned. There's still a few areas that we are not under our control, so there's no point in going ahead and trying to liberate them, but we've moved a clear front line now forward with 2 extra armies now on the Russian front line. Down to the south, the army, the old Pike army, one of the first armies I ever created, is now on the move. Now we do have an army up here, but as we can see from its movement range, it would take quite a lot of effort to actually cross this land, as there's no roads or anything, and it looks to be kind of marshy, while we have the road here. So whether they try to cross here or try to stop us here, we can quickly, move along the roads if we wanted to take them out. But my goal with these is to take out this place, just so we take out as many settlements as possible, stopping them from being able to replenish their forces. And then also my fleet arrived. It had arrived to the port in Pylos. It repaired, and then it went here and it struck down the Ottoman navy, which was actually I thought this one was going to be the big battle, but their navy here was actually smaller than the one we faced before, and it was quite an easy battle, as I was able to bring in the reinforcements from the dockyard in Odessa. And yes, with that said, I am now starting to think, what battle have I actually laid up for you guys? And the answer is none. So we're gonna have to end turn. I just want to go over some questions about... There has been quite a lot of questions about steamships. So the thing is, I never thought I would do any naval battle as playing as Poland. So it's quite surprising that we've done so many naval battles as we have. But just to go over the steamships, I would need to upgrade to a steam dockyard, which means that I need steam engines. Steam engines are 7 turns away. Then it would be an additional 5 to actually build the steam dockyard to be able to recruit the steamship. And then the steamship in turn would... I don't know how long that would take to actually go ahead and recruit that. But it would take a while. And so by that time, unless some naval faction like suddenly England declares war upon us or something, I can't see me actually using steamships. So there's probably not going to be a naval battle with that. Also, I guess we can go over and take a look here, which is our little expedition here. I've moved over dragoons to add on to the siege of this area. Tobias Prince is protecting the pirate stronghold. They have 1 turn to surrender, and yeah, it looks like they have no chance. These, however, are pirate mobs, which looks to actually have muskets. They have range of 110, so a lot better than our musketeers or our buccaneers. But the melee attack is 10-10 and 6 morale. So we do have better melee skills. So it's just about charging straight onto them and mobbing them. So mobbing the pirate mob. And then I guess to continue on the war against the pirates is to help out our Dutch allies by going against the pirates over here. Now I guess the Dutch are reluctant to actually attack the pirates because they have somehow been able to acquire substantial amount of cannon, howitzer, and the 12-pounder battery. But that, I guess, is the next kind of step there, but I think we might have finished the campaign by that time. And this army is just about to be ready, the rifle army. It just needs the cavalry and possibly some extra cannons and rockets, and then it's finished. but I do think that at that point the war is probably over, so that's coming a bit too late. With that said, let's go ahead and turn and see what battle we can actually draw into in this closing hours of the campaign. Right, so at the final moments I thought, yes, now it's my turn, but it turns out we have a little bit of a pirate fight, so yeah, let's quickly get this over with. And once and for all, not once and for all, but once and for all, since these were the pirates that was causing us trouble, sending their navy down and so forth. So yeah, let's take care of these bastards. Right, so it's one of those strange encounters where they sally forth, but they still actually get to have the fort on the map. So they can take aid from that. And not only that, the pirate bastards decide they're gonna put themselves on the other side of the castle. Even if I go to round shot, we won't actually reach the pirate bastards, and this is great because now I have to move all the way around the bloody fort. Quite the luck for us, because the enemy decides to actually go ahead and not man their mortars, and instead charge in the mortar crew against, well, you can see how many blades there are on our sides compared to the small mortar crews, and the fact that they attack without support. The rest of the pirate bastards have gone ahead and gone into the castle. I thought you bastards were gonna sally forth against me. Which is... I didn't want a bloody siege battle. That's why I tried to starve you out. So I'm not entirely sure how I still ended up in a siege battle. The mortar crews didn't go too well for them. I'm gonna tell the men to hold fire. And we're gonna wait for these guys to come well within range, as the pistols are not that accurate, and firing through the woods is not that great either. Let's see. Okay, they decided to fire very late, and this unit decided not to fire at all. Wonderful. The unit next to it fired, though. Not that it mattered, because it's less than 12 men charging into a unit of 300. Okay, so they're not even gonna leave the castle. Well, that's great, isn't it? We've got one unit outside, and we can at least be able to charge that one down with the dragoons. So we'll send out the dragoons to deal with them, and then possibly we can dismount the dragoons and climb the walls over there. But it looks as though we're... Oh, God. I'll have to climb the bloody walls. It's not... I mean, the fact... Normally, or I guess in Napoleon, if you sally forth, you don't actually get to keep the castle and have the options to actually stay within the castle. I mean, they didn't even... They sallied forth against us and drew into battle, but they stayed within the castle. Well, at least some of them. We have one pirate mob that was not that clever, I guess, as the rest of them. They missed the memo and they actually marched out to face us. And they're gonna face 300 dragoons. And I think just the straightforward charge right at them is probably gonna be enough, because, you know, they're counter-charging! They're not even gonna use their muskets to fire at us. They're instead gonna try to club us to death with it. Well, that's wonderful, isn't it? Well, now I can see why they didn't stay inside the castle. Maybe they was so stupid they weren't even let in by the others. Quite surprised that they actually got one of my dragoons there. But the pirates are quickly losing numbers. Right, building captured, so the gatehouse is ours. We'll order Dragoon to follow the enemy through. And now that the gatehouse is ours, I'll have the rest of my buccaneers go inside. Oh, they made spikes. Oh, how dreadful. For all my cavalry, then obviously I'm gonna ride straight onto that. Don't you dare start climbing. Go through the bloody gate. Right. Just charge through and kill everyone. And most of those pirates have been killed off by the Dragoons. Guess what I could do is quickly... Oh, you know what? We hold all the gates. The Dragoons will then move to get in through this side. Come around the pirates. Okay, oh, clearly someone forgot to open the door for us. There we go. Okay, the pirates are opening fire upon us. It's a little bit too little. Or a little bit, what's it called? Too little, too late. That's what I was supposed to say. Right, and we'll just charge straight at them. And you can tell that we're gonna win because we have the black durags while they have the picnic, the picturesque picnic blanket on their head. So it's quite clear who is the more formidable here. Right, go for the general. And rather quickly, we're supposed to win the battle. Charge down over there, get rid of those. Have the Dragoons make their way inside the castle. And my pirate mobs are cutting down the enemy. As soon as I think we get that pirate, whatever, Toby Prince, once he dies, gets cut down off his horse. I do believe the rest of them will... There we go. Enemy General Tobias Prince has been cut down. And I do think we're gonna see the pirates scurry away at that point. We've got the third mob of pirates running away. We're facing off some others here in the staircase. Hopefully get rid of them as well. I think the pirate commander or those guys are probably going to stand for a lot longer than the others. So I guess if we go for the mobs, and then we can have the dragoons instead go for the cavalry. It's quite a large amount of buccaneers running about here. Right, as we actually disengaged, we did a lot better and suddenly smashed through the general's bodyguard. But now thousands of blades gleaming in the tropical sun as we charge straight into a building wall. Only one enemy mob unit remains, and once that's done, we've taken the fort, which is a pretty darn massive fort to be built in the Caribbean. I could never think you would actually need something of this size protecting such a small island. I don't think it's that important. And there, they're broken, and we are victorious. The pirates are gone, and we have some more vacation islands in the Caribbean for the Polish Empire. And here were the results. We killed everyone except 64 of the pirates, and we only lost 244. And the islands were seized. The Russians went ahead and burned a few places. Again, successful mission by our spies. Region captured. Very good. Oh, it's a royal palace. which will enable us colonial line troops, African musketeers, colonial militia, light troops. I think we already had light troops. Colonial light troops, in fact. I think those have higher accuracy than normal European ones, possibly. We already had colonial line troops, I realize now. But we'll use more of that if we're gonna go ahead and try to take over the island down here. We've got some stuff being constructed. Not that we need it. Rocket ship has been produced by Poland, Lithuania. So we got rocket ships in case the Ottomans try to come again. There could be naval forces down here. And we've got, for the commander there in the Caribbean, he got a surgeon and steady under fire, which is very good. Let's just quickly go over here. Since I decided not to draw into battle with these, they were able to bring in the big army. However, what I think we can do is a little bit of a maneuver where we have these guys move around, replenish, and then go for this. And then to take on these, we'll actually move the Marine army to block the enemy. The thing is, yeah, I think we're gonna go here. They don't actually reach, but I think that will be fine. And then I think this army will be stationed on this side of the river, replenishing over there. Now we would need some troops stationed there, but that'll be fine. The spy can move over there, and so we've kind of set the European theater, or the Austrian theater of war. We'll continue marching these, but now we need a battle because we've done so many maneuvers instead. Right, this guy is not... he's still stationed there, he's dug in. So I think we need to gain some good ground. So I'll attack here. Demand the surrender, they accept. The region falls. And we have another big chunk of Russia. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 territories left to go. And for the last bit of this episode, we're gonna go for this one. I'm gonna demand the surrender. They refuse. And since they refuse, we will fight them. Right, so this is one of the few regions that actually didn't have a castle. And so the Russians have decided to set up within town. There's a big impassable terrain that kind of wraps around the town as well, so they've got a really strong defensive position. I'm not entirely sure if I'm able to march. I probably am able to march over this area here, but there's a lot of like areas where you can't actually march through, so it's difficult, and it's a choke point. Then you have to march up and then come directly into enemy fire. Going through here, we've got the town and then impassable terrain, so it's difficult to attack that way as well. However, I might not need to attack because I have brought loads of guns and mortars to blast the town to hell. But I think we'll make an attempt anyways to attack it. So without further ado, let's start. Okay, so the Russians actually start off with not even being within town. Russians bring pikemen, regiments of foot. I do believe I saw some sort of elite grenadier unit as well. The something grenadiers. Let's see if we can find them. They don't seem to have brought that many guns. None at all, I think. Let's see. Yes, there we go. The Semyonofsky Foot Guard. Which, I mean, they look fine until you realize they got a bird's nest on top of their hat. I don't know, that looks really strange. The unit looks fine otherwise, if it weren't for that bird's nest on their head. Right. As the enemy has no guns, they're most likely going to be marching towards us. Charging towards us. There's no point to hold light formation. So I think we'll just place these as flanking companies on this side. Toggle guard mode. It's going to be difficult here. We're going to set... Oh, you know what? It looked like there was some counterfire coming this way. And we've lost some troops. I think because of the terrain here, we're going to have to march a few units up there. And then the flank company is going to have to come to this position here. And then we might have 2 to go there. But that's just to fill that area out. Same here. I don't think the enemy is going to go out here and shoot down at us. If they do, then the cannons have plenty of targets. We're going to bring 3 across there. And we're going to bring 4 regiments going across there. 2 reserves kind of in the middle there. And then 2 reserves behind here. And that's pretty good. I'm gonna place most of the cavalry. I think we have 5 units, right? So I'm gonna place 3 of them on this side because there's a lot more open ground to move there. And also there's not as many troops trying to go around this way of the town. Even though it kind of looks like I'm sending more regiments this way. So I'm gonna have these 2 go towards the hill. I realized we have 1 unit here that I haven't moved. But just in case, I guess he can move towards the artillery position. And I think the first shots are gonna be fired over here. The Russians are kind of clumped together. I wonder if... How long is shrapnel shot? Right up to here. Which will be fine. That will be fine. They'll still... We'll actually work the choke point against the Russians, even though Russians are technically defending. The choke point up there will be used against them. Oh, and the shots of those canisters bounce on into these, even though these guys weren't really the targets. Taking quite heavy damage. That cavalry unit got absolutely destroyed. One thing that I note is that the riflemen, or the light infantry, are not within range. So we'll need to move them up. This is going to be an absolute massacre if the enemy continues to march that way, and we have such concentrated shrapnel fire going this way, and then add on the musket fire. So that will certainly not do well for the provincial militia of the Russian army. Oh, here comes the shrapnel shots. Bouncing into the Russians, absolutely destroying this side. Not as many... Oh, here comes the mortar shots as well. The Russians are trying to form up. The line infantry, the proper troops, are lining up, trying to lead the militia forward. It's not going too well. Withering fire from our lines from all sides. Plus then the cannon fire, which is ripping through them, causing this battle to be an absolute massacre. Over on the right side, it seems fine. They haven't come to battle yet on that side. I don't think I had to change any formations on that side. Oh, they're gonna be able to deliver their first shot against us, which kill about 20 of ours. But if we compare to how many the Russians have already lost, trying to... are they trying to charge? I guess it is the best kind of strategy, trying to avoid the cannon fire. getting so close that we can't call in artillery support, even though we are calling in artillery support. Danger close to our own men. Obviously, the garrison militia did not get all the way up to the lines, and the withering fire is absolutely cutting these guys down, and what we're witnessing is more of a massacre. Fire has been exchanged over here at this point. We've got some pikemen, we've got some line infantry, we've got stuff like that. Those heavy cavalry needs to get in line, and I think the guards are actually putting down quite some heavy fire on us. What we're going to do is we're going to add on to these, and we're going to drag the retreat the line, and then the cavalry at an opportune moment will charge the enemy down. Let's go back to the massacre, which is continuing without much giving much mercy for the Russians. They're continuously marching into this deadly fire. Oh, look at that. They did send the first hussar into the flank of the light infantry. So we've got one of the light infantry there, Lightfoots, might very well get overrun and destroyed. The Russians just continuing going on straight into this fire. We can see the flames of where the explosive mortar shots have landed, torn up the ground and set it ablaze, with the smoke covering it, the battlefield from our muskets and that of the cannon shots. They're still able to set up pretty well, I must say, given the amount of fire they've received. Okay, the enemy is charged in, the pikemen is charged in, the line infantry and so forth. We got a regiment of foot doing volleys over there, we got the guards over there. It's a normal regiment of foot, but it's actually doing... Right, you will go for that one. And we'll let you charge in first. And then the second one will go for the guard unit. And we'll ride down the enemy. We can kind of see how they're attempting another charge, but it's failing. One of our units, though, I think. No, it's another Russian unit. Right, so the heavy cavalry charged into the Russian line. And this one's going through. I was a bit concerned they might snag onto this one, ruining my charge. But this unit is falling apart as we speak. They're gonna ride through the retreating troops. And then they're gonna strike the guards. It's actually the guards and another line infantry that they strike. And it strikes kinda perfectly, because these guys can still put fire into them. And if we go over here, yeah, the Russians are in full retreat. My light infantry got destroyed there, but the hussars didn't get any further. They weren't able to run up the entire flank line there. And it looks like the guards might be the last one to stand. Actually, we've got a enemy cavalry unit that might very well be the last one to fight. I haven't seen any of these guns. Oh, they're firing over here, I imagine. Or no, that's the howitzers. If I redraw the cavalry from over here, I'm pretty sure these cannons will all focus in on that area. We'll have to ride in such a way that the bouncing shrapnel shots will not bounce into the cavalry as it retreats. Okay, they're all firing, and it bounced past the grenadiers. I don't know if they were going for this unit or what they were doing. I'll actually send both the cavalry units to deal with this one. Oh, that was the guard. This was the line unit, so the guards retreated before the line. It's that cavalry unit over there that's going to be run up by 2 of my units. And then there's this militia unit, which is going to face so much gunfire from shrapnel and howitzer that I doubt they'll even get close to the lines. We might actually break some houses here. Wait, what are they firing at? Why were they firing? Oh, they were still firing off these? That's the weird thing. That's the, like, small things in between Napoleon and Empire. Is that in Empire, the unit at fire at will still try to fire the unit that moved out of their range, or a unit that is retreating while they're still firing at will. While in Napoleon, it actually only targets units that are not routing, like proper units that are standing still within their range, or at least that's what I recall anyways, last time I played it. So it wasn't that much of a battle in terms of that the enemy put up that much resistance. They were very much slaughtered. Let's go ahead and end it and take a look at the statistics. Probably one of the best ratios during the entire campaign, as we lost about 1,000 men while killing everyone. Now, obviously, we would kill everyone, because they're defending the town and no one's going to get out, so it's going to kill every single one. But if we look at it, it's not that much difference in between the units that we actually killed and the entire units that the enemy lost. So 5,100 units that they lost in battle, compared to ours 900 that we lost. Highest kills go to line infantry. I imagine these were the ones firing at the Russians on the left flank. Then we actually have an artillery piece, which is a bit unusual, ranking up with 314 kills, which is pretty good. And yeah, there we've got that, and for this we have now gained 2 territories during this video. Oh, they actually have a little bit of a navy up there in their fishing port. But now we've gained loads of territory. That means that we only have 4 left to take. We should be able to clear out the Moscow region. I've recruited troops to actually be stationed as guards here to actually be able to move this army out. So we should be able to push that one away. This one will probably just go ahead and die and recruit some more troops to just be stationed here to defend it. So this army can move forward towards Kazan. Possibly going down, but I'm thinking it's better if we just keep going. So this one should probably be going up there. Or maybe this one can actually do the jump across here and go there. So this army will instead continue on to Komi region. So done, and so. And then this one, there's no roads, but they will make their trip within 3 turns, which is pretty darn great, I must say. So it looks like it's gonna end pretty soon. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!